We're back on, Mark. Welcome back to part 2 of the rant here on Tuesday, whatever. Saturday's April Fool's Days, boys.
I know, it's
Ramwick,
isn't it?
Wet track, it's going to be wet. It's a heavy 7 or 8 at the moment, or slow 7. Rain on Thursday and Friday. It's exciting times. Can't wait for the size.
Like I've lost my job, haven't I?
What do you mean? Oh, yeah.
I've lost my job,
I can't wait for the size.
Track predictor.
I'm going to be declaring something in the size. I can feel
Okay,
it.
so what are we looking for in the size, Glenn?
New blood.
It's funny you say that because
New blood.
after Terce, 12 out of the next 14 size winners all came through the slipper, and only one of them had finished worst back. Sorry, only one of them had finished unplaced, and that was Viscount, who'd run 4th in the slipper.
So they all came out of the slip, you're saying?
No, this is after Terce, and then after that, the slipper runners just disappeared. There weren't actually any slipper runners there was very few slipper runners in the side.
It's hard to imagine.
Anyway, last year we saw Yankee Rose beat Telperion, who ran 2nd and 3rd in the slipper.
Okay. All right.
So this year, you know, Frolic will line up.
Frolic
Tulip will line up.
Frolic could win the size.
And Minari will line up.
I suppose Minari. So now we're going to tip the slipper runners, aren't we? But I'm excited for a few horses. I did see a horse win at
But there is a white horse, Gunnison, who I thought went unbelievably to lead all the way on a track you couldn't lead on. That, you know, outside
it didn't race in the slipper, did it?
It has. It's only trialled since.
Trialled since, yeah, of course.
Is there any of those horses that have had sort of like the longer distance run, like the Mission, eh?
Well, guys, I know we've never seen this before, and I don't even know if this horse is going to the race. I see it's still in the final acceptances, and I see the TAB's got it at $51. But I was going to say, after watching the Goulburn tapes, Goulburn aside sounds unusual, I was going to say on the show, because sometimes I say it, I don't care where they put this horse next start, it will fucking win. I think every time I've ever said the horse has won.
Unfortunately, yes.
Serena Bay. Did you see it go at Goulburn?
Yeah, okay, that was a provincial meeting. It wasn't a Goulburn meeting. It was a Kembla meeting. And unlike those other transferred meetings where they know in advance that they're going to be running a meeting out wide, there was no country shit in the program. So it was a proper provincial program.
That's why it does look funny to lead up Goulburn into a side. We'll never see it again because it is a transferred meeting. It is a cheat, but fair income. Serena Bay went like a rocket.
I think Gay's had a lot of success Kembla into town, hasn't she?
Yeah.
With the 2-year-olds.
Well, I'll be tipping. Yeah. I hope it's still in the. And by talking about this, I halve him the price, but I just don't care. It'll win. It'll win the size.
There you go. You heard it first here.
$51 with the TAB. They love to bet.
I think there might be. There's probably a few common form lines at Newcastle tomorrow as well. That might sort of frank the form. Because didn't she 0.1 lengths off another horse first preparation or first start?
Yeah, off the reflectivity.
Yeah, so it's running tomorrow at Newcastle. Yeah.
Funny horse.
Thankfully, with Racing Australia, you now get the beaten margins to 2 decimal places.
Oh, do you? 0.12 length.
So, Hayne playing the other day at Ardleth and Picnics, it got beaten 6.99 lengths.
Bullshit, did it really?
Beaten 6.99, and you know, they wouldn't lie, would they?
That's grouse.
Anyway, he went on to win a week later at the Tullabegeel Picnics. Nev, he was very excited after a slipper day. He said, "Hello gents, it was proven on Saturday that everyone has a price.
They do.
On a normal Saturday meeting, 70% of the acceptors would have been scratched. Not on this Saturday though. On a track they normally would never have raced on, we saw full fields.
Yeah, not many just great fields.
The scratchings were amazingly light, weren't they?
Great.
The horses raced because the dollars were just too much to pass up. So why can't these trainers do this every wet track week?"
And jockeys.
All the horses survived, I think.
They would have come home, you just shower them down, that would be sweet.
And the best, fittest horses won. It's been a feature of our wet autumn is that the results haven't been wild.
No. Hashtag great racing, he's saying. Great racing. And it was great racing.
All right, but I mean, the point is it's about the dollars, and unfortunately, you take away the dollars, you take away the horses. And the meeting.
Yeah, and what the people who behave like that, the trainers, and especially the jockeys, I mean, the jockeys give their... I mean, well, let's be fair to them. Jockeys probably take 15 years of their life off their natural life to be a jockey. Through malnutrition, through like not being a normal person.
Yep.
Because they chase dollars hard.
Yep.
So they're slutty enough to go that way. Well, what I'm saying is finish the job, be the full, you know, and race on the wet days because you need the game to stay healthy.
Yeah, well, we actually need the B grade. You know, the Super League is just not going to race on the wet days.
Well, we need the B grade. We need the B grade race.
And you've made the case for fine them 30 to stop them whipping.
Fine them 30.
It's the same deal. See, if you don't fine them the big dollars, you won't modify behaviour, and if you don't offer big dollars, you won't get the meeting on.
Yeah, well, my thing is, I just want consistency.
Yeah, but it is consistent. Big dollars, they race.
No, but this is what I'm saying. But they can't spit out those things. Oh, we're not racing because it's unsafe. When we know that's absolute bullshit.
You know why they can spit it out? Yeah. Because the very willing media will just go, "Oh yes, it was unsafe." Mm. Oh, you know.
Because half the media want to go home.
Yeah, they do, because they're actually not interested.
They want to go. They get, oh look, we could knock off here at 3. Yeah. Let's go. Poor old punter's desperate to have another bet. Desperate. Sick. Oh.
Anyway,
what a game is how we all hate each other.
Oh, it's great, isn't it?
It's fucking great.
Grant, he wrote in about the Keno, and he just wanted to add to a recent discussion, re-Keno and Lotto, by playing by the largest syndicates. First of all, they believe the games to be random, so they convert results of previous games into binary code and view the printouts trying to discern any patterns. No computer can match the brain for this task. This sounds like right up your alley, Glenn. Can you imagine?
I'm so interested in all this. We need to get like a racing rant syndicate together, or we get like, there must be people out there with brains and people out there with money, and put us all together and we'll just win Lotto every week.
They place the number drawn into numerical order, lowest number in the first bin, highest number in the last bin. By doing this, for say a game like Lotto, your lowest number will be between 1 and 17, and so on for each of the number bins. The lowest and highest bins normally provide the numbers most drawn in a game. Numerous algorithms are created using the above bins of numbers, but then other algorithms are overlaid on these bins that could be looking at numbers that are in their last 5 longest losing sequence based on previous draws, or another looking at how many numbers are drawn from the previous 5 games that repeat in the next game, or looking at the mode gap between numbers drawn. Those algorithms are then combined and thus create numerous games to be played based on the game being random. The idea is that you also win numerous minor prizes, which keeps you in the game until you hit the big one, and then you're ahead of the curve. Of these types of games, 20% of the games played are actual selected numbers, and these games win 80% of the prize money. Wow,
that's
Grant, you're right into it.
Grant, good on you, mate. Just if you want someone to come to your place and sit and watch the Lotto balls drop for the rest of life, I'll be there next year with a beer, and I'll pick them better with a beer.
Yeah. Daz writes in, he says, "Hi guys, I like your show and I try to watch and like each episode. It's appreciated. I've started trying to tune into the fleeting comments and quick one-line off-cuff comments from you guys about betting strategies and bet chances, etc. to use to win a few dollars, but I'm not having much success yet. The annoying comment of, I won't be losing on that one, which I still don't understand.
Why doesn't he understand that?
Just don't bet, he goes, question mark. Well, you go for it.
So all of a sudden, like, you know, we can be doing the form, dissecting it and blah, 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 and you know, we can find an unfashionable, be like Dad's an unfashionable horse, but it ticked a few boxes in bed, it had Kathy and blah, and I might have said, well, look, that's in, and I won't be losing on that one. Now, what I mean by that is I know it's going to be outside the marketplace. As it turned out, I marked at 10s, it was a mile outside the marketplace at 38s. Now, it didn't do much for me in the parade ring, but I made sure I didn't lose on it by because the way we all sort of punt is you don't really go out there and I'm going to pick horse 2 and then race 3, I'm going to pick horse 4. You know, you bet up on 2, but you might save on 4 and you have something on 6 and you don't lose on number 14 being Kathy, because it's easy to throw $50 or $100 on it. So what I mean is I won't lose on it is I've thrown something on it. That's what it means. I've thrown something on it. But it's not that hard to work out.
With the understanding that you knew it wasn't going to be in the market.
Yeah.
Because you need that little...
Going out there, I could be thinking, well, Jamaica's in today, oh, dirty, filthy, the blah, 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 I'm going to do my balls on it. And then I get out there and I think, watch the parade, watch the other horses in the market, the second and third pick gave them none, and Jamaica's going to be a good result for me. So you change, you've got to be flexible, but there's certain horses in a certain price range that you know on the day you won't be losing on. Generally, they're losing bets because they're outside the market, and most horses outside the market lose. But you're not going to lose on that one. That's what I won't be losing on that one. That's not that hard to understand.
Well, yeah, he didn't. He wants to. He was looking for an explanation. So he says, any chance of a how to bet type segment on your show, maybe? Well, we could do a special show.
Sometimes we think we do the show, and 5 professionals out there watch us that also punt. but we forget our viewage is up to a couple of thousand now, so we are a bit ignorant of the fact that not all you know what we're talking about. So in that way, Daz, I apologise because I'm trying to work out how you wouldn't understand what that means, but then like you get me away from any other subject except racing, I don't even know what you're fucking talking about, so I get it.
Yeah, so
and all three of us bet differently too.
Oh, we all bet so differently.
Very
and
differently.
we all kind of don't understand the other way the person bets.
Yeah.
I look at Gord's been going particularly well for a long time. I've been going particularly well. And I look at Gord and go, how the fuck would you back that, Gord? You must have no idea. And I'm sure you think that about me. And you just go, old ginger nuts. But flying. So, what a game. What a game.
Yes, that's great.
He goes on to say, we're not bookmakers or even full-time punters and we have limited knowledge. So much here to learn and so many would like to know.
Okay.
Thanks. Love your un-PC work.
So they'll always be unpolitically correct. Don't worry, those stewards won't wear me down. I'll wear them down.
Someone wrote in and said they wanted to check, and we ran this past Ratings to Win, which there's yet another upgrade of Ratings to Win. Man, that guy, Paul Daly from Ratings to Win, he's just on a mission. He's on a mission to create the ultimate zenith of racing software. Anyway, he ran the query through. It's profit on turnover of favourites that settle in the first four at 1100 at Rose Hill.
That's a great question.
And over the last 2 years, there have been 54 bets for 22 winners. So they're striking at 40% and they're starting at 33%.
Massive plus.
So that's SP.
It's actually got a stink of like the boys riding the amount that fair income behind.
Well, everybody. I mean, there's been an idea out there for a long time. The 1100 metres at Rose Hill is particularly conducive to
which is weird for us. Remember, like growing up with Rose Hill. Oh, 1100. Oh, look, where's the blouser? I think it's a recent thing.
And I think it's indicative of the Ray Murray leftover stink of jockeys racing according to the map.
Right, maybe.
No, it is, because you settle six. I'm in this racing, I'll settle six. Everyone finds their spot. It doesn't mean you can blouse. You need, the old days people took off and
I haven't seen them go. Look, the other query that I'd like to put is average first 500 at Rose Hill since Ray Murray came, as opposed to the average first 500 before that. Did they used to go harder at Rose Hill?
They did. I remember. I was there.
Anyway, so bear that in mind. The favourite that settles in the first four at an 1100 metre race at Rose Hill is making you some money. Question for Glenn from Brisbane Bill. I was wondering why Glenn wastes so much time writing to councils about parking fines when there's a better way. In Queensland, there's a body called the State Penalties Enforcement Registry, SPARE, which collects outstanding fines. If you claim to be poor,
I'm beautiful.
You can have your fines transferred to SPARE and pay them off at, say, $10 a week. I have a mate who's in the SPARE system and he pays $10 a week off his accumulated fines. So for $10 a week, he can park wherever he likes.
That's outstanding.
He just puts the new fines on his SPARE bill and carries on regardless. I assume there's a similar system in New South Wales. Seems a better alternative, especially when it would take them years to twig and you're not planning to be around that long.
Oh no,
that is sensational.
I've got 4 months left.
I hope they have that in New South Wales. I'm going to do it as soon as I get home. $10 a week for parking.
Yeah, Sean Fleming on Facebook, he posted on our page, Craig Williams makes the RS Die ride on Viandacross look like a gem after the Mornington Cup today. What a shocker.
I never saw it. Did you guys see it?
No.
I just caught it out of the corner of my eye and I'm sure, there was a hell of a lot of press on afterwards. Did you see the C. Williams tweet? So C. Williams fell off on Saturday, got injured, from hospital. The horse obviously got put down. He's tweeting, I'm okay, but so sorry for your loss.
It's a horse.
Oh, he's a player, isn't he?
He's a beauty. Where would we be without C. Williams?
So sorry for your loss.
If he's still in play for the carnival.
I don't even say so sorry for your loss to people, about people, when I go to funerals.
Anyway, that's classic.
It's
classic C. Williams, isn't it?
So sorry for your loss. Oh, is he riding this Saturday or is he injured?
I don't know.
I want to give him a bake for that.
Mark wrote, great mounting yard mail today. Thanks, Glenn. I'm only a little punter, but it's great to get some winners. And when you combine your mail with Mark's tips, I had a good day. Thanks for your research and selections. It's very much appreciated.
Oh, that's like a nice thank you reply when you've had a nice dinner and you text them next day, thanks for cooking. No worries. The previous 2 weeks, Mark, were particularly poor, so I really need to find my mojong last Saturday, and I can assure all my people it's back.
It just had a feel of a day for you, but
Yeah,
it was a betting day.
Yeah.
Wait till this Saturday.
Not a showcase day. It was a betting day.
And it was just so comfortable.
Yeah.
So comfortable.
Hi, Mark. It's always good to hear when the punter has an edge over the bookies, even if his methods are a bit unethical. So could you ask Glenn what were the other 7 ways that he conned the old Yank? I won't get greedy. One of the 7 scenes is fine.
Oh, this is me spending a lifetime working out ways to wear Warren Woodcock down. There was a beauty. So I told you about the 3-dog terrier race, 14,000, 8,000. There was another time. This is a great time. This was a beauty. I might have said on the show before years ago. You haven't heard it, but there was this fantastic sprinter called Placid Art, like just a freak, and all the stars aligned. Like all the stars aligned. It was one of the first or second week of the decimals. And back then the decimals didn't go into your machine via the APN. You had to get your bookies, your clerk to write them down and put them in. And Warren, again, the stars aligned. He used to always spend about an hour for lunch at Rose Hill. He'd go upstairs, he'd have a bottle of wine, and he would leave all the clerks in charge. And these days, the clerks weren't as sharp as Kingsley Bartholomew and Steve Fletcher and all the regime of, great racing minds that come out of that stable. This was the day, again, the stars all aligned, where he had all the, the little peanuts, all the uni students, the little gay-looking boys, the tiny girls all chit-chatting, and no one knew anything, and Warren would go upstairs. So every hour for that couple of months, I would always just check Warren's scenario, and then there it was one day that they came down. Placid Arc was $1.60, and the clerk had written down the $1.60. They were betting each way on the race, which was even a beauty, because the clerks put up 16 to 1.
Whoa.
So they had about 33% percentage on their board, because 16 to 1 plus a yard. Yeah. And I was just standing there with another bloke, and people are drinking and up went the 16s, and there was one other bloke, I'll never get his name, he'd be dead now, old bloke. His nickname was Ice Cream Pat. He used to always just, and he looked at me, and we hardly ever spoke. He looked at me and I looked at him, and we just went...
Charged?
No, we just went, well, we're not charging. And he just looked at me and he said, I'll go first, you go second. And then I said to him, make sure you go third, because we'll just keep going.
Yeah.
And as we were strolling in there at the 16s each way, it was a good price each way, Placid Arc. He turned around, I'll never forget, he said, make sure you bet each way. That's what he said to me. And it was like a big whale dead in the sea, and like 2 big tiger sharks come up, and they don't gorge themselves to death, but they make sure they get a feed. And he went 20 each way, number 4, and I went $15 each way, number 4, and circle back around. Anyway, I think we had about 5 goes each. We both got 150 each way, and then Warren came down and he was going, what? And I'm sitting there watching the race going, hope this wins. Better run a place, because we both had like 2,150 each way, and it pissed in by about 6 lengths. And I had to send bowlers in there to collect different tickets, and it was really disgusting. But it had to be done, and Warren deserved it. I felt good about it. I'm sure Ice Cream Pat enjoyed it, but I'll never forget him turning around saying to me, make sure we bet each way. Just the throw off at the 16s. That's another yarn for you there. John, there's one. I'll give you one a week if you like. That was hit 2. And then, of course, Warren went, oh, that fucking Glenn. When you get no money, if they're going to put up odds and they're going to leave monkeys in charge of a business, then, another time Warren had to bend over and take it.
Right. Next time you get that opportunity, you'll have to queue up to bet.
It's queues, and it's just so different now.
Hi, gang. Long time no speak. Been busy moving. How enjoyable is moving? Well, Glenn, you want to move people professionally.
It is tough gig moving, I must admit.
Really enjoyed Mark Sheen last week. Really missed in race calling. I couldn't believe Mark said that he was older than the bloke that's retiring in Melbourne, and he actually is, because Greg Miles is only 57.
Why the hell is he retiring? What's he going to do?
How old's Mark Sheen?
Oh, he'd be 58, I suppose.
Yeah.
He's doing well.
Yeah, he's very, 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 very...
He's boyish looking.
He's Cary Grant, that's what he is.
Looks fit.
Really missed in race calling. Kathy does it again to me, so to speak. I had a good bet on Roaring to win in the last. And who noses me out but Kathy on Be Like Dad. On another issue, this ridiculous whip rule. If you have the rule, it needs to be used, and if not, get rid of it. I appreciate it's been brought in to pacify the animal liberationists. Talking of them, not sure if you know or not, but on Slipper Day they were demonstrating on the train platform, accusing us of supporting a sport that murders horses. When I confronted one of them and asked them when was the last time they had a wash...
What do they mean murder? If you kill an animal, is that murder?
Well, I suppose we're purpose breeding these horses for racing.
So otherwise they wouldn't be here?
Yeah.
So isn't it great that they're here?
Well, but then they die.
Yeah, okay, but all right.
They go to the knackery.
All right, for example, if a 3-second-old child just turned up there, hallelujah, and we brought it up, and then it's a baby, and isn't it great it was here? Or do they prefer it wasn't here?
No, that gets to make a decision on its life, whereas the horses, we're breeding them for racing, and when we don't want them anymore, we're sending them to the knackery.
So
they can make a decision too. They can decide to run faster.
Yeah, exactly. Pull their fucking head.
Yeah.
Try.
Yeah.
As I've not written in for a while, I've come to the conclusion, probably a little later than most, that Winks is the best horse I've ever seen.
I agree with you, Dave.
Keep up the good work and see you at the track. David.
David's a friend of the show and he's a very nice gentleman. He gets to more meetings than any other person in New South Wales bar me. He gets to all the meetings I go to.
John Jones, right. Hi, Mark. You mentioned somewhere a long time ago that sitting OSL is just the worst thing possible. Could you please explain the theory behind this? For example, apart from the small amount of ground you have to cover, say, versus say, lead on the fence, why is it so much harder for horses? Love the show, although Dicko is not, he's not a fan of Dicko. Who, by the way, is going gangbusters in Melbourne Mounting Yard Mail. His Mornington set wasn't quite as strong as his Flemington sets, but I think that was to do with Mornington.
Well, because it was just so map orientated. Down there.
Yeah, Dicko has embraced Mounting Yard Mail in Melbourne
and he's embraced Melbourne. He's loving it.
He's honestly, his results are really, really good, and we're doing a combo with Glenn and Sydney Mounting Yard Mail. You can get the two of them for $55 every Saturday, so look out for that. So. As far as Dicko is concerned, he's doing well. As far as the outside lead is concerned, I think that's just an ultimate work position for mine. Obviously, there are slowly run races, and we used to have the old Nash, like sort of semi-controlling the race from outside lead. But I think that lots of situations outside the lead is prime work territory for mine. I prefer a horse sort of 4 deep on a limb sometimes than a horse outside the lead.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not as strong on that one.
I wouldn't say that.
No, that's different strokes for different folks, and then he asked me the question.
Fucking birds.
Hi guys, I'm just getting in contact and would love to hear your guys' opinions and advice. I'm only a young bloke at uni but love a punt and everything involved with horse racing. At the moment, what I'd say is I'm your typical Saturday punter. I do my form, but it usually involves only looking at the stats and occasional race replay.
Well, that's a start.
Had a very good autumn carnival last year where I won a lot of money by my standards. After that, started doing speed maps for each race, taking a more in-depth look at replays. What would your advice be for someone that's looking to improve their punting game and flirted with the idea of giving it a real crack? I don't seem to be picking more winners than I was before. I usually only back one horse as my stakes are low, and I play usually an exotic and win bet in most races. What are the improvements I can make? P.S. Love the show, keep up the great work. Lucas.
Well, if what he's doing is working, then...
Well, he's saying I'm putting more time in and I'm not getting any more winners.
Well, I pay for maps. I don't do maps. So there's different ways to skin a cat as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, there are different ways to get your workload down.
Yeah.
Especially with... look, I think you're just on your journey at your start. I think betting in $20 and $50 bets is pretty good. It's a start. Obviously, to win a decent amount of money, that makes you've got to get your turnover up, and getting your turnover up is something that 90% of people really struggle with. They really find it hard to get their turnover up. A lot of people come out and they go, look at this, I got this from this and this and this and this. And I go, oh, that looks really good. Yes, I see you've got that 20 to 1 chance, 13 to 4. You are an excellent judge, but let's see your punt. There is that difference of knowing. A lot of people know how to teach golf and know how to play golf. Know how to teach golf and show other people to play better golf, but the really super people that can handle playing good golf, it's a bit of a
It's like the driving range versus the
my word.
Well, there's
the golf course.
There's guys out at the racetrack that are making plenty of money and they don't do any form at all.
Yeah, but they're great course managers.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're great gamblers.
Yeah.
They know how to take strong positions, to read markets, and they wouldn't do one iota of form. A lot of blokes still
I wonder if Lucas, he said he watched the odd replay and now he's watching more replays. I wonder if he's doing them differently because he's trying to be serious and so he's trying to be trickier maybe. You know, he's trying to look for...
Yeah, that's a good point.
Things, you know, he was like, this is impressive or, you know, I'm trying to see the hidden merit in this now.
Well, Mark said that to me last week on the show. I don't know whether it was on the show or off air because we were chatting a long time. He said, you know, because we were talking about when we were younger and things used to both just jump off the page. That'll just win, it would win. Whereas now we can have 6 bets in a race and 5 and we go, how the hell do we back those 5? Yeah. You need clarity to be successful.
Yeah, and
but you need clarity to be successful in whatever you do.
Yeah, and the over-analysis is very attractive. You know, once you get serious about something, it's, you know, you tend towards the over-analysis very quickly.
Well, you know,
The most thing I can hear is flexibility. You've got to have flexibility. You've got to have flexibility. I'll give you a great example. I priced before Saturday, before Manning Yard, 2-1 Danish Twist, 11-4 impending, 5-1 Jungle Edge, and I didn't lose on Jungle Edge at $3.10 because I went, wow, my market, basically I should now get it and wipe my ass with it because Danish Twist isn't a 2-1 chance, impending.
It's based on what happened in race 1, you mean?
Just the way everything happened. Then when I saw impending parade, I would have gone from 11-4 to 11s, wouldn't I? And I couldn't lose on Jungle Edge at $3.10, but I didn't get there, this Jungle Edge is a 5-1 chance, I'm going to, you know, stand it at 2-1. I made sure I won on it.
what do you guys say about exotics?
I think they're a thing of the past. I think the TAB has got behind some of the biggest syndicates and given them too much of a kickback. I think it's fraudulent behaviour on their part. I think there should be an inquiry in it. I think eventually one day there will be when people start to realise what a big deal it is. I think it is a fucking disgrace what the TAB has done to the bigger end of town for their marketplace. And I spoke to Craig News on the show. He said, well, Glenn, if you buy, it's no different to Woolworths buying 1,000 boxes of Weet-Bix to you want 1 box of Weet-Bix, we're going to give the bloke who's 1,000 a better deal. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's fair income. I think it's a fucking disgrace. And fuck the TAB for it. Giving rich people back stacks of money on their losing bets so the small punter is paralysed by his dividend. I mean, they round down, which is completely outrageous. In Hong Kong now, they pay to the 5 cents. When we use the Hong Kong markets, they often pay $17.65, but we get $17.60 here. Doesn't make so much of a difference in that range, but when it's $1.89, you're getting $1.80. I think the TAB's got a lot to answer for, and I think eventually, one day it'll all come out, and I think it'll be looked upon as, I won't say fraudulent behaviour, because I'll say it. If we sue me, I don't give a fuck. I think it's wrong. I think anyone would think it's wrong.
Well, you're up against it in 2 ways, aren't you? Because the takeout is, 22%.
Yep.
And then the big boys are getting a 10% rebate.
Well, they're getting whatever rebate.
Whatever rebate.
And they're writing programs to lose 7% of their money because they get 8% back and the 1% cripples every little mug out there and they basically make a living by robbing mugs, to me.
Yeah,
but they're in cahoots with the thing. And I don't know where that rebate gets taken out. How does the board, the TAB, and the shareholders' meetings?
It's a commercial decision, Glenn.
It's wrong. It's wrong.
Well, I mean, you can see their attitude.
It stinks.
Let's say it was 10% rebate and they're making 22% on turnover. Well, what do they care? They just want the turnover, don't they?
It stinks. But it's illegal.
Not fair.
All right, but it's like, I don't know, we allowed to sell 3 kilos of cocaine this week? Can you get us 3 kilos? I'll fucking sell it.
Hi guys, enjoying the shows as usual and the nice new mics. Just wanted your thoughts on the Oaks lead up and the interference caused. I know I'm speaking through my kick and was on Nurse Kitchen at $23, but do you think the interference caused by the winner could have had more grounds to change the result due to the fact of first taking the second placing's run around to the top of the straight, causing her to come around and then let down? Also, I'm wanting to back Nurse Kitchen and the Oaks, and what do you feel her best price will be? I know the flashing light run will slash her price. Currently $6 is on offer.
I can't believe she's $6. I think that's really short.
Do you think she would get better price than that?
I definitely think you'll get better than that. I think you'll get closer to $11.
Thanks for the shows, Michael.
Yes, ladies. Hi. Couple of chicks walking past, giving.
You might have been more hope if Sheen was here.
Yeah, Sheen's our chance. I think it'll be definitely closer to $11 to $6. I think $6 is really bottom of the market. Can I just quickly say one thing about that champion of all champion punting commentators, Ron Dufficy? He did. I meant to mention it last week. He did say on Racing Retro 2 Sundays ago about Winks being $1.15 in the next race at 10.
Yeah.
He said on air, he said, this is $1.15 favourite, but obviously you would never take that early because all that she can be is be scratched, and of course on the day she'll be at least that. And I went, good on you, Ronnie, because the Tab, who love a bet, would hate him saying that.
Well, they would and they wouldn't. I mean, you know, he's making them look better because he's representing them.
Champion commentary.
Yeah,
and he's right.
It was a...
And it was caring about punters. Don't take this price. You'll get that price on the day. Why would you take it now?
Yeah.
It was champion commentary. You wouldn't get any of them else saying it.
No, he's big enough to say it, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
He's got the
kudos.
Yeah.
We thought Richard Freeman had plenty of kudos there. He seems to be on the night shift at Galagan Bone Dogs.
But he's also training that O'Reilly who ran out of its skin at Newcastle on Saturday. Horse training, that could be his go. Hi fellas, thought I'd give you an outsider's perspective to a day at Rosehill Races. This is from Pete, who came and said hello to us on Saturday. He's a big fan of the show, and he also throws a few dollars our way as well.
Do I?
Yeah. Anyway, came down for my birthday with the bride, stayed across the road at Ridges, which had a package with members' tickets. Had not been to Rosehill for a while since renovations. We would normally go to Randwick for what used to be called the Easter Carnival, now Championships. First thoughts were that I thought it was pretty well set out. Granted, there was not a big crowd, but facilities were clean, food and grog were pretty reasonable, and you could get a bet on without too much trouble.
Just stop there. I've got to say the place is super clean and the food is great and the prices have really come down. They've done something about the AGC. Again, really well done.
The bookies ring, or rectangle as it now is, does seem a lot smaller than what I remember, but alas, I think that's the way things are heading. Managed a quicker load with Mark and Gordo. Glenston looked a bit intense.
Oh, I told you I hadn't met him.
Who were more than happy to have a chat. Had a good day out.
What did he speak to me?
top point.
Despite being a losing one on the punt. Living in the ACT most Saturdays behind the laptop on the lounge. He doesn't say in the leather undies, but I feel going to the track is vastly undersold, if not only for the atmosphere, but also watching it all unfold. As a last note, not an arse lick, I've watched the show for years and managed to get many of my mates on board. Still dabbling with the best product combination for myself with you guys, but I've learnt so much from when I first started to where I am now. Keep up the good fight, Pete.
Well, good on you, Pete. Well, you could have said hello to me. If I look a bit of tense, it's just a throw off, just in case some old debtor wants his money back. So I just look like I try to look like I'm losing all the time. Yeah, no good here, no good here.
Well, I mean, he's got a point. I thought I'd never go to the races.
It is a bit undersold how great it is.
Yeah, it is. It's
and
fun.
then people who think it's sensationally great like me, I forget how great it is.
Yes,
I forget I'm dating Miss World by going there.
Yeah.
You know, when you date Miss World, you eventually after about 6 months you go, well, she's just that chick.
your wife.
Yeah, she is actually there.
Yeah, but
what's the expression? Something to do with like anybody's tired of fucking the same. Like if you've got Miss World or whatever, somebody's tired of fucking her or something, something like that.
Well, that makes sense.
Feel like pina colada.
The track is undersold. It is without doubt. Honestly, what do people out there do on a Saturday afternoon if you don't go to the races? Email us in other things you do. Do you go fishing or what do you do? Do you go watch sport? How boring.
Well, what I used to do is either in the office or on the lounge, a couple of laptops, undies.
That don't exist anymore.
I tend to get aggressive when I lose a result.
You go to Newcastle races now. You're talking about.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I've got a taste for it. I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
It's fantastic. I can't believe blokes like Snowy and Stewie Davidson and.
Speaking of Snowy will be on the show next Monday.
Oh, fantastic!
Oh, awesome.
I can't believe they never came back. They all went away. I thought, they're going to go away, but they'll come back.
Yeah, but the trouble is that their setup is not conducive to them coming back. They're there with. I know you can set up at the races now, but it's not as.
I can totally understand the way they do things. That it's an advantage to be at home. It just doesn't affect me
Gord's a relatively social animal, and that's why.
Well, even the way I bet, it's pretty much done. I'm not good at adjusting for map, so.
Yeah, you're not as intense as they are about betting.
Yeah.
The track is undersold. It's the best place in New South Wales on Saturday afternoon is the track.
And by the way, it is good. You know, you're paying $9.50 for a beer and $7. I mean, that's a good initiative.
Sandwiches were $9, and they were absolutely beautiful 4-finger sandwiches, like really, really good. Something you buy at the Opera House, and now they've gone from $9 to $6. So they're really trying. They've tried it.
I love that. Glenn talks about the sandwiches, I talk about price, and I talk about the beer price.
Don't worry, I'm about to join you.
Warren Godson's very keen on inference in the Derby. Now,
been following for a while, Warren.
One thing I did notice, Glenn, was that when Jimmy Chu won, he was on Shamrocker's back in the Rosal Guineas. And they reversed their position in the Derby. And then when Volkstock and Barrel beat Preferment in the Guineas, he was on Mongolian Khan's back in the Guineas, and they reversed their position in the Derby. And guess who was? Guess who whose back Ginger Nuts was on?
Interference.
Inference.
Interference, is it? I always called interference, I don't know.
Anyway, so that's perhaps a mildly interesting thing. Jared's very keen to hear your thoughts on horses from the Rosal Guineas Heavy 10 who can improve on a better track.
All right, you guys get to the next. I'll go for this quick little thing. Well, obviously, prize icon. Rock and Swing will improve on a dry track, but I think it needs to go maybe to the Frank Packer play.
He might be talking about the Guineas horses. So Prized Icon ran in the Guineas.
Yeah, well, Rock and Muse Swing did too.
No, Rock and Swing ran in the Tulloch Stakes. Not the Tulloch. What's it called?
Oh, you're talking about the
What's it
Guinea?
called, the Tulloch? Yeah, right. two Saturdays back.
Oh,
so Prized Icon, Sosi Bon, Anaheim, Harper's Choice, Impovito.
Surprise Icon, obviously. Ginger Nuts will be negative on a drier track, obviously. Interference. Oh, this is the field here for the Derby. Right, catch up, Glenn.
And big heads up for Hong Kong Darren there. There's a horse in there, number 8. It's pronounced Riven. It's not Ruthven or anything like that. It's Riven. Can you compare me these Kiwis? Based on what you've seen in the last 2 weeks? Yeah.
Going forward to the Derby?
Yeah.
No.
I'm only interested in backing one horse in the Derby. It's Prized Icon. There you go.
Okay, but you did pinch the ground. So what do you say about that? You're like, you're talking about heavy to soft, although it's rain on Thursday.
And just sort of seems like now the right preparation after.
We're going to go through some of these tweets, guys.
Oh yeah, quickly. Wild G wanted to know whether there's chips in the saddle or are they using the neck microchip? All animals, I think, have a microchip in the neck.
For their identification?
Yeah, so how are they getting the 2 decimal places beaten margins?
So if they've got these chips, what do they have? You know how Hong Kong has the screen where you know exactly where every horse is in running? You know, it's got the...
Yeah.
Do we do that?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you've noticed, they've got that screen where those dots are moving around. Yeah. That's the field.
Okay.
So they must be able to do it. DG...
What about people just watch the race and see where your horse is? I mean, they've got colours.
I kind of like it.
DG Pud says, Jesus, what's going on over there? Lucky we got these new mics.
Well, this is the test.
Testing.
There's a brick saw. There's Dicko's brick saw. DG Pun says, like the panel's take on horses racing after the Canberra Cup meeting, all apart from Happy Clapper seem to be busted. #penjob.
What about Happy Clapper? It is on song for the Doncaster.
Well, it was. I've never seen a horse own a race like it did own the Newmarket.
But even the previous run, I was finishing up some tapes and how it ran second the start before on.
Oh, you know, how I went down to Canberra to unload on it and I didn't get the cash on it.
There you go. It happens, Gord. It happens.
Happy Clapper, like Michael Thomas, we'll see you at the Doncaster today.
So Garvin won off the Canberra Cup meeting. He ran in the 1400 metre race, went up to the 2000 at home and won, and then ran 4th on Saturday.
Going well. Good stable.
Look, the Canberra Cup meeting is, it's this promoted like high grade meeting. It's not. It's bullshit. It's you'll find horses to work into the right races, but in the main, they will not transfer. Sean wanted to know, am I talking rubbish? Could the Canterbury track have been used for training over the past month? You know how there's been a lot of talk about the Victorians are doing well because they've been able to work their horses and we haven't.
Don't know.
Is it in quarantine for no horses?
Aren't there horses there?
Canterbury?
Yeah.
What for?
Queen Elizabeth?
I just thought there was horses there.
There are quarantine horses there.
I thought there were. Aren't they? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. We had one horse there last year
who
he bled on the track and had to leave.
That was great.
Chosen Stardom. Who's in the Doncaster.
Maybe your Japanese horses are there, Mark.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Stay tuned for the Japanese horses. Glenn Harvey, who got the G Pilot treatment a couple of weeks ago.
What did I do?
He was very unhappy about the Daisy Doom ride, a crap call on an even worse ride. Daisy Doom.
Is unhappy Glenn Harvey?
Why do they get these rides? Hashtag torture. It was torture, and I mean we knew A. Atkins was on it. He rode unfortunately he was riding against H. Bowman, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's true, Glenn. So yeah, I can see why you'd be dirty about that ride. So I'll take that back. He's probably a very nice man.
Greg from the track. He sent through a. Have you seen the vision of this jumps jockey? He's 50 yards in front, and the second horse has fallen over, and he mistook the 50-metre post for the winning post.
It was incredible. So you can see it on punters.com.au, which I got to tip you. It's the second best racing site in Australia. RaceNet's the best. We're about 93rd. We're just up for a few porn sites. But punters.com.au, they do a really good job there. Really enjoy reading their articles. Love reading the feedback. I read most of the stories, and I find it very entertaining. Clicking on to watch that jumps jockey. Well, I did read one of the great comments about that ride, and I never ever thought about it. In those races in the UK, if you're an amateur rider, you don't get paid for the ride anyway. So he pulled up.
Yeah, you don't.
It doesn't cost him anything.
And this is what
he got banned. He got a 28 day ban. Huh?
4 weeks, but he mightn't get a ride.
We're on.
Oh yeah, we're back from no battery. We've got the plane, got the drill, got the birds crapping us. All regulation stuff here at Racing
So
RANT.
you were talking about the amateur jockey not caring about not riding?
Yeah, because when you read about it, because I was talking about punters.com.au or whatever, and go look at that British amateur rider pull up. So he's pulled up, and of course he's got a suspension. I'm sure he wanted to win the race, but it's funny, when you're an amateur rider, you get no money. So what's in it if you don't win the race? Seems an unusual setup, doesn't it?
The glory.
I'm just that set up in England where they're running around for no money and there's a fortune matched on Betfair.
It's just ripe for the plucking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, he didn't even realise after they rode their horses hard past him, did he? He didn't have a clue.
He had no idea. How great
But
was
it was a weird setup, the way those witches' hats were just appearing.
And then there was a steel pole there with the rail. Anyway, it's a weird setup, England. There it is.
And then Kyan, he tweeted something for the RANT show next week. Unbelievable. Apparently, Sportsbet had a bit of fun with Bet365 because they put up markets and they know that Bet365 just copy them.
And paste them.
So they put up an Eddie Post market, pre-post market for the Corville Guineas.
Yep.
And that's next October. And they put up a horse called 365, $34. And another horse, Are No Good, at $34, and Bet365 just put them straight in.
And I got to applaud Sportsbet for doing it, because that is particularly funny. We need a bit of comedy in the game. Yeah. And I've got to applaud Bet365, because whoever copies and pastes them does a very good job in there. At least he does. He's told to copy and paste, and he does a good job.
Right.
We talk about the championships next up, just quickly, boys.
Yeah.
Well, then we're going to have a part 3 today, because Teeny keeps sending us in quizzes, and somehow both boys want to torture me by doing it.
We do.
The Derby. No, the
Doncaster. The Doncaster. Well, I'm all over Le Romain.
Yep.
It's a bit obvious, but he is.
It's a bit of a boring tip, Mark.
It's a very boring tip, but have you seen a horse go as well, like he's gone super this preparation?
Yeah.
In fact, he went super last preparation once Seareef left the horse alone. Sorry, Christian. And he's just, every run's been perfect.
Is Sense of Occasion going to be first up into the Donny? Is that first up off 84-day breaker?
Probably. Yeah. He was off a break into the Villiers, which is a different race.
What a hot race it looks, guys. What a really great race it is. Number 20.
Well, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the best mile of the year.
I'm going to stick with Happy Clapper early on. It's got Blake. I loved its win at Newcastle. Just completely dominated. $11, $12. Happy Clapper. Ran well last year. Looks going to be good out to me.
Yeah, Le Romain, Happy Clapper, and Spectroscope.
Spectroscope down the bottom, the big weight, the Hong Kong man who never rides a winner in Sydney.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, he doesn't, that's true. That's true. I wonder why Joe left New Tipperary out of the, not that he's got any hope in the Doncaster, but out of the race last week.
I think he was injured.
And the Derby, Glenn, which is field of 13.
Yeah. Well, I think that,
I think Prize Icon's a great chance.
It's obviously got a chance. Glen. Ginger Nuts obviously got a good home.
Well, you're anticipating heavy track, yeah? Or?
Certainly.
Well, it's going to be wet. It's going to be wet. Look, we've got a system move through on Thursday. That's just going to top it up.
Yeah. Anaheim. What about it, guys?
Well,
Bit of a fan of this horse.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm against the two Kiwis.
You're against both the Kiwis. Why? You're just trying to be stubborn and.
I just think that the perception is because I think they've just got a jump start because they've come back from their 2400 metre run.
Yeah, I agree with Mark.
You know,
Okay.
and now finally these horses are better prepared. Like Prize Icon's had two 2000 metre runs. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose pretty good. I don't like seeing Glen win the race.
So you've spoken about the size. What about the TJ Smith Glen, which is Chautauqua and
Chautauqua.
Russian Revolution?
Wow, Russian Revolution. Wow, what a race it'll be. I got no comment on it. I haven't seen the field.
I'll be back in Russian Revolution.
Okay, that's the end of the rant for this Tuesday, the 27th of May.
Newcastle tomorrow. Get yourself the track.
Yeah,
Stay up there.
unfortunately, that precludes a Newcastle preview because we're now deep into Tuesday.
That means we're not doing it. That's what people want to know, mate.
That's right. But if you're up at if you're at Newcastle tomorrow, look out for the Ginger Nuts, Gordo, who is threatening to make a play for Newcastle. I'm hanging at home to be to meet the Mr. Smeg to fix my microwave.
What do you mean fix your microwave? Don't just go buy a new microwave. No one gets a microwave fixed. Check them out.
Yeah, you haven't seen it. Anyway, Friday, it's G Pollitt here for the April Fool's Day preview.
Yep, and I will not be an April Fool. We'll tip plenty of winners on Friday. Mounting Mail will be Saturday. I'll be just braining them. I can feel it. I'm warming up. And Ginger Nuts will be here.
I'm not going to make the meeting on Saturday, actually. I've got a big match against Blacktown City Demons. I expect my boys to...
What are you coaching a Wogball team and you're going to go watch Wogball? And go to the
watch?
races?
No.
Do you play?
When you make a commitment to a team, you've got to...
Is this your only Saturday match for the season?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so Gordo's absent on Saturday, which means I'm doing two sets of mounting yard mails.
You're busy on Saturday, running around, punting, lots of mounting yard mail, doing all the social media
and
stuff.
will we get to run around, Glenn? Because I imagine it'll get a bit ordinary in that small enclosure there that is the betting ring at Randwick.
Yeah.
Particularly when it's wet.
Well, I'm not suggesting it'll necessarily be wet on. It'll be a bit like today. On Saturday.
The ground, the surface water is just underneath, and with a top up, we're looking at a 7 or an 8. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, but we're talking about how many people will be inside.
This is the longest show. It's like fucking Days of Our Lives, this show.
Anyway.
Okay, so that's it. We're saying goodbye now, Marcus.